What's going on, guys? Welcome to the live stream. So in this Q&A, I'm going to be answering questions I got from the week, including one from Cami Dunks, who asked me if it's better to jump indoors or outdoors, which I might have talked about before, but I'm just going to be answering that. And then another question I got from my Instagram, somebody asked me, I'll bring it up to see who it was, give him a shout out really quick. But let's see here. Basically, he asked me if or how to switch from 1 foot to 2 foot jumping, and you guys might have an idea of how I'm going to answer that because, as I talked about in the last Q&A, the shorter Q&A just talking specifically about 1 foot, that there really is no better way to jump. So I'm going to get into that question also, and then the last one was from my YouTube channel from Jared Cole 150. He said he is 13'5'7" and wants to know what the best plyo workouts are to do. So to start off answering the first question, which if it's better to jump indoors or outdoors, which was asked by Cami, I might have, like I said, I might have mentioned this before, but I actually did some looking into different types of courts, and I learned that actually the like wooden courts, like the reason basketball courts are wooden is because wood actually returns force better than say concrete or asphalt or like what you would play on outside. So if that's why you might feel bouncier or hey, what's up, Josh? Shout out to Josh in the chat right now. But yeah, so that's one of the main reasons why it's used in the on NBA floors, like the NBA floors. Hey, what's up, Hillel? Hillel's in the last one, but shout out to Hillel for being in the Q&A today. But yeah, so get back into this. I actually read it was from a Sports Illustrated article talking about the type of wood that are used in NBA floors, and it's like literally like some of the best type of wood that can be bought. And the reason that they use it is because it's better at returning force than like a harder surface. And then also under the wooden court, they also have like another shock absorbing material to just better that. So, but in terms of the way, like I said in this Q&A, I just like to answer things from like my own experience, from like my own perspective, and then the shorter ones I do throughout the week, those are more I'll actually look into studies, bring in stuff like that, but these are just more conversational. But so like my experience with jumping outside and like on harder floors, like I just feel like it's harder on your joints, like harder on your knees, and it's just less comfortable. Like you don't feel like you get as much, aren't as explosive off of hard surfaces. So I mean, I might do it like if I'm purposefully trying to just like make myself uncomfortable and just push myself to like work on something that's harder that I don't usually like to jump off of. But I always feel bouncier and more explosive off of a wooden floor. So I would definitely say that jumping indoors is better than jumping outdoors if you want to be as explosive as you can, get as high as you can, and just prevent injury from like little divots that might be in the ground if you're jumping outside or just stuff like that. But I mean, use what you have, of course. If you want to jump, then just jump wherever you can. But yeah, like I saw this one guy on Instagram, actually, he like jumps, he was like dunking in the jungle. I think it was like in Hawaii or something. It was pretty cool. And then another guy from um maybe the Philippines, I think he was jumping outside too. It was crazy. Like it's just crazy like to see like all these different like where these different jumpers and dunkers are. So it was just cool to see that. So yeah, just jump wherever you have, but indoor I feel like is definitely the best way to go if you want to like get the highest and most out of your vertical. So to answer the next question about switching from 1 foot to 2 foot. So if you guys saw the last Q&A, I talked about how you like there are ways to train 1 foot and 2 foot, but ultimately go with continue to strengthen what you're good at, what you've already developed from just practice and from what you've done your whole life or whatever feels more natural to you, but also work the other side. So like if you feel like you're faster, you're like more reactive, then maybe you're a 1 foot jumper already, so you might want to gain strength to start to improve your 2 foot, and just to kind of balance it out. So he asked me how to switch from 1 foot to 2 foot, and like I said in the last Q&A, I don't look not from like researching as if I don't look at jumping now as like, oh, I'm a 1 foot jumper or 2 foot jumper. even though yes, one way might feel better than the other way, you still want to have a balance, because if you look at like the best dunkers, the best jumpers, they could dunk or they could jump however way. It just depends on the situation. So like if someone's on a fast break, maybe they'll, since they have more speed, since they have more momentum, maybe they're going to jump off of 1 foot. Or if they're more just trying to go straight off a vertical or have like 2 or 3 steps, maybe that's going to be a 2 foot jump. So just from looking into that and reading articles and stuff, I feel like it's just better to develop both sides. Yes, continue to strengthen and continue to work on the technique that you're already good at, but still work the opposite end, so that way you can still have a strong foundation with that, so it'll improve whatever you feel more natural with. So I don't think it's necessarily good to try and like switch the way you jump. I think it's just good to improve both ways overall. Like one of my friends, actually teammates that in high school, he played at Western Illinois, might be playing in Europe soon, but we actually worked out today. You guys will see a video on that on my Instagram, on my YouTube channel soon. But he actually was telling me about how he injured his knee, and that kind of kept him from jumping off of one leg, which is what he was used to. And he actually started to develop his 2 leg jump. So like now he feels more comfortable jumping off of 2 legs. But talking about that and just kind of thinking about it more, I feel like maybe strength. Maybe that strength side that goes more into, maybe that strength and power side that goes into 2 foot jumping, like maybe he wasn't doing that as much. So since that injury, he was almost like forced to work on the 2 foot side and the strength side, because he was used to just jumping off of 1 foot before. So it was like, I'm used to this, so why not just keep going with this? But since the injury kind of made it uncomfortable for him to then jump off 1 foot, he started to work on 2 foot, and now he feels stronger with 2 foot. So it's just like, I feel like either way, like it comes down to just having balance, just getting faster, getting stronger, more explosive. Like yesterday, I set out to hit a 50-inch running vertical within the next year. And the reason I said a year is because I wanted to make the goal actually realistic, and like a year I feel like is a realistic amount of time to do it in. I was gonna say 6 months, but that's like I want the goal to stick and actually be able to have a time frame where I can actually reach it. So that's why I set out to make that goal a year, and I'm going to stick to everything I can do to get to that goal. But I mean, it's just I've been looking into more and more, with 1 foot and 2 foot, for example. It's just you want to just be optimal in whatever it is that you're doing. So like if you're jumping, like I said, if you're jumping 1 foot, work on your 2 foot, so that way that you become optimal in like both ways, as just like in terms of like just functioning better. So what I'm going to do with that is just carry that over into my training, just find my weaknesses. I've honestly been thinking about like not even following any type of plan, like specific plan, just literally, just think about it for myself, focus on like what I feel like I need to get better at, because that way I'm going to push myself even more, because I know it's something I need to work on. Instead of just following a program that, it still might be beneficial, but ultimately I want to hit every aspect of the jump and every aspect that I can to just become more optimal in jumping in my training in general. So I just feel like it's going to be good to start to see what kind of workouts come into play. I just want to really just push my body in new ways that I haven't before. I want to make myself uncomfortable. I want to do like sand workouts today. Like I said, I did a hill workout. Just push my body in ways I haven't before, and just kind of just continue to like push the boundaries and make, like I said, make myself uncomfortable, so that way I'm going to be developing strength and power and speed in ways that I haven't tested myself with before. So that's why I want to do that. And yeah, just to answer his question again, don't think of it as like switching 1 foot to 2 foot. Just work both, become stronger, faster, more explosive in all your training, and you'll start to notice that you get better with both. And Halal said, do what feels good to you and what you think is going to make you better. Yeah, exactly. Like Halal, it's like it sounds so simple, but like literally the more I do jump training, the more I work out, the more I follow programs, the more I'm just like, and I feel like setting this 50, like hitting a 50-inch running vertical is gonna like push me mentally as much as it will physically, because I don't want to just like blindly follow a program and yes, like I said, still make gains from it or still get stronger or whatever. No, but on the other side, like I know I have weaknesses that should be addressed. I feel like more that should be addressed before anything else. So, I would want to hit those weaknesses and just make the gym fun. Like I don't want to go there and just like, you know, make it necessarily predictable every day, but make it fun in the way that, I'm going to be doing something new, or I'm going to be pushing my body in a new way every time I go to the gym. Like, if I feel like I need to do more plyometrics, or if I feel like I want to do like a max jump, or if I feel like I need to work more on like loading and strength, then I'm going to work that, and I'm going to put 100% into that, because going into it, that's like mentally, that's what I want to do. That's, what I feel like I'm going to put 100% into that day, or, mobility, whatever. I feel like just thinking about it like that, I feel like you will train. This is with anything. I feel like you will train more optimally by doing whatever it is you feel like you need to do. And, maybe not everyone has that feeling of like what they feel like they need to do if they're just starting, but, I feel like the more you do it, the more you start to get a feel for what you need to work on and what your weaknesses are. So, yeah, that's like Hillel said, just do what feels good, do what you think you need to do to get better, and ultimately, I feel like you're going to see that if you know for yourself what your weaknesses are. And Hillel said, yeah, it's good to do different things every time. Yeah, so like, I mean, this is just interesting to talk about, because like, your body doesn't know you're following a program, right? So like, the only thing your body is responding to is the stress you're putting against it. So like, if you're putting 400 pounds in your back to do a squat, like it's just gonna react to move that 400 pounds however you're trying to move it. It doesn't know you're on like some kind of strength program where you're gonna do 400 pounds and you're gonna add more weight. Like, all your body is doing is reacting to a stress that you're putting it against. So like, you know, like, who's to say that doing one program is better than another? Like, you should just work in like all aspects of like movement, of strength, of explosiveness, of speed, of power, whatever. Like, I feel like all those aspects of working out and lifting and training should just all be incorporated, so that way, again, you're pushing your body or testing your body in new ways, in ways that you might not have before. I've been like reading about like the transverse plane, um, the different planes that your body moves in, and I think it's like the frontal, transverse, and there's like another plane. But yeah, there's like all these different planes, and like I feel like, I just want to work more to push to kind of push the boundaries again, like I said, and just do different things that I might not have before. Like yesterday, I was reading about a workout um, that involved like tumbling, which, like doing handstands, or just like rolls, just creating stability and body control, and pushing my body in that way. So yeah, that's the type of stuff I'm gonna be doing. Like, I'm gonna be making videos. I feel like it's gonna be more fun to watch too. Like, it's gonna be more fun to watch and put content out. Like, because the workouts are gonna be predictable. Because I'm just gonna, if I find a new workout that I feel like is gonna push my body in a new way, then I'll do it. Or, if I feel like I said, if I'm gonna do like a max jump one day, then I'll just do a max jump. Whatever. But it'll be fun to share with you guys, and I feel like it'll make the content better just to make it unpredictable like that. Joshua said, "How many times do you recommend jumping/dunking?" Um, so like that's something I've been thinking about too. Is like, okay, how much should I actually train? Because I was on the program I have been doing. It was like 5 times, or 5 times a week. Um, Lower reps though, and lower sets, but heavier loads. And I'm thinking like jumping and dunking is going to be probably 2 times a week, and then the other 3 to 4 would be working out. So like doing some type of, just some type of training, um, because I feel like, you want to have some kind of gap between like one day that you're jumping and the other day that you're jumping or dunking. In my opinion, like, I don't think it's. I mean, to work technique and like timing and all that, I think it'd be good to like work every day if you want, or like every other day. But in terms of like recovery time for like your body and for your muscles and stuff, I feel like it's good to kind of have like at least like a 2-day window in between, like when you're having that. Like, if you want to have like a jumping day, it's like more like 100%. So Joshua, to answer your question, I feel like 2 days a week and 2 or 3 days a week, spread it out. Like if you want to, if you feel like you want to jump and dunk more, then make it 3 days a week and then spread out your workouts in between, so that way that the jumping days or dunking days could be spread out with that. So whatever it is that you're doing, just like kind of have a gap in between so your body has some time to recover. That's kind of how I look at it. But yeah, so another question I got from Jared that I read at the beginning. He asked, he said, I'm 13 and 5'7". I have a 32 to 33 inch vertical, which it's pretty impressive for 13. And I want to touch the rim in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, what would be the best plyometric workout to do? So, again, like I talked about this 50, like hitting this 50-inch vertical. You know, like it doesn't just take 2 weeks to gain. You know, maybe if you were to, you know, depending on how far he is from the rim, you know, being 5'7", having 32, 33, he's probably really close to touching the rim already. If not, he probably already can. So, the best thing for him to do would maybe just work on timing and technique, because I think he could. I'm pretty sure he could jump high enough at that point to be able to touch rim with 32, 33-inch vertical. But I just don't like that he said, you know, I want to do it in 2 weeks, because, you know, I don't like setting time frames like that, because it kind of makes the goal like less realistic. Like I said, that's why I set this goal for a year to hit a 50-inch running vertical, because that's a long enough time to realistically actually reach that goal. Whereas, you know, saying that I want to touch rim in 2 weeks, like that's shorter, and you know, a little bit, it could happen. I wouldn't say it can't, but I mean, since he's probably already really, really close, having 32, 33-inch vertical. But I guess the best plyos to do to get to that point, even if it takes longer than 2 weeks, would be drop jumps and depth jumps. I feel like those are the two like foundational plyometric workouts that I've read about. And I don't know why before I thought like drop jumps were just like dropping and sticking to the ground. I made that correction in one of my past workouts that I posted, but I feel like the drop jumps and depth jumps, like they both work kind of like the opposite. So drop jumps are more like reactive and quicker, have minimal knee bend. It's you'd usually do it from a lower box, so that way you're minimizing the ground contact time. Whereas with depth jumps, you're kind of doing not like the reverse, but you're like creating more of a load, like the loading phase is longer, because you're just trying to jump. You're trying to get as high as you can after the jump, and you're using like full arm swing, like a little bit greater knee bend, and you're like absorbing the force to return it into the jump, which we're into whatever you're trying to touch after you actually drop off the box. So, and I think those are done at like it's between like 40 to 60 centimeter box, and then drop jump should be done at like 30 to 50. So that's why, you know, like the height that you do each of those exercises at is different, and I feel like it's because of what you're trying to train. But yeah, those would be the two best plyo exercises. Like I said, just talking about like the 2 week thing again, like, you know, if you guys have like if you guys have a goal in mind, like, okay, I want to dunk, or I want to jump this high or reach this point, just set a realistic time frame if you're going to set a time frame at all. So like, I mean, if you're just starting, or if like, you know, like for me, the when I did like before I did the dunk program that I did, or the jumping program that I did, I literally said I'm just going to do this program for as long as it takes for me to dunk, and it ended up taking me 7 months. So, you know, I didn't start the jump program saying, you know, okay, if I don't dunk in 3 months, then I'm gonna be done, or like I'm not gonna do this anymore. It was just, I'm gonna do this for as long as it takes for me to actually dunk, and you know, that's gonna be the point where I transition into something else, or that's the point where I just start to just keep building from there. So yeah, like if you guys are setting a goal like that, just don't don't make it unrealistic by making the time frame like super short, because I feel like it might be kind of a letdown if you don't hit it in the time frame that you said. So I mean, maybe do a little research, like how long it might take to actually hit a point that you want to hit, or um, with whatever it doesn't have to be dunking or jumping. Maybe um, just apply, if you're trying to apply it to other things in your life, just make the time frame like realistic, so that way you can account for maybe a little some injury that might happen, or just stuff that happens in your life every day, like day to day. Like, just take that and also into account and say, like, there are going to be things that are going to come up, or like there are going to be things that might get in the way a little bit, or whatever it might be. But having a longer time frame and having like a more realistic time frame to reach a goal, I feel like it's going to push you even more and motivate you even more to actually want to like get up every day and work towards that goal. So that's why like I said, that's why I set the time frame to a year instead of like 6 months, because I mean, yes, it could happen in 6 months, but the point is that if it doesn't happen in 6 months, I wouldn't want that to be a point where it's like, okay, I didn't get it in 6 months, so now I'm gonna have to extend it to a year. Whereas, okay, if I tell myself right now I have a year to reach that goal of 50-inch running vertical, then I will wake up every day and like know that I have that long to reach the goal, and it's a realistic amount of time for me to reach it, and I'm going to do whatever I can to actually get to that point. So yeah, just make the time frame realistic is the point of that. Gotta Aim said you should listen or put on this song called Gold Brockhampton. I will check it out after this Q&A, but thank you for the recommendation. Joshua said, is it normal that I haven't made progress in like 2 months? It's kind of frustrating. Should I start doing plyometrics because lifting didn't help me out that much? Okay, yeah. So have you been jumping? Like, how much have you been jumping along with strength training? Because like I've read into, like, that's something else I've read into, is like um like if you are doing like a strength training program, or if you're working on just like loading or whatever it is, like you have to incorporate, like if you want that strength to be transitioned or incorporated into something else, like you have to also work that other side. So like if you want, like in this case, if you want to gain strength to jump higher, then yes, like gain the strength by doing the squats and other like loading exercises, like cleans or whatever, deadlifts, whatever it is that you're doing, but still incorporate something like plyometrics or just some type of jumping or working on dunking or something, so that way that you're actually implementing that strength into like a functional movement and like a functional exercise. Because that's kind of I feel like that has to go along with like the planes that your body that you're working your body in. Because yes, like there are exercises where you're going to work like the transverse plane, like working your body in that way. But if you're not specifically doing jump training, then yes, like you're getting the benefits from the strength training side. But if you're not working the jump training, then you're not working the speed, you're not working the explosiveness, you're not implementing that strength into an actual like skill, more or less, like something that's going to take timing, something that's going to take its own technique. So yeah, so if you haven't been making progress in 2 months, then definitely start doing plyometrics if you haven't. And Joshua said been jumping 3 times a week and lifting 2 times a week. So how long has it been since you've been jumping 3 times a week? Another recommendation is that if you're really hitting like a sticking point, just start to look at what your weaknesses might be, and maybe put more attention into that. Or if you have only been like touching a certain height, start to try to reach something that you can barely reach, or that you can maybe get once out of like 5 to 10 times, but you want to start getting it consistently. Start start to try to like aim for that, like aim to get that height, like touch that height consistently, and then base your training off of what's going to help you, maybe touch like a higher point after that. Because like that's what I've been starting to do. Like I recently touched a point that it literally took me 10 tries to get once, and like that's gonna be like the goal is gonna be to hit something that I can only hit like maybe 1 out of 10 times, but then I'm gonna work to get that consistently. Maybe like eventually get it like 6 out of 10 times, and then 8 out of 10 times, and then like push the bar even higher, and then start to go for something that's even higher, and then just base my training off of trying to reach that higher point. But by doing that, I'm gonna be having to optimize like everything that goes into that max jump. So like and I'm gonna carry this over to dunking. So like I'm gonna have to have my foot. I'm gonna have to get my footwork better. I'm gonna have to be quicker off the ground. I'm gonna have to have better arm swing, better like foot better, like planting my feet better. Like all that's gonna have to get better. So yeah, that's why I feel like um, if you haven't seen that progress, just try to push to reach something that you haven't reached yet. Um, yeah. So like, what else have you been doing? Because I know you said like lifting didn't help you out that much, but were you lifting without? Okay, so you've been doing the jumping and lifting combined. Um, yeah, so like my advice would be to just try and reach something that you haven't reached yet. Jump to that, like literally just push yourself to jump maximally. Like if you haven't been training to jump maximally, then that could be why that you're kind of at a plateau, because like you haven't been pushing your body to like reach something that you haven't reached yet. So try to push yourself to reach something like that you haven't reached yet, and just put more in, like force yourself to put more effort into each jump, and just like really look at what you're doing, like focus on your workouts, see are you putting the most effort to each rep, like are you increasing the weight every time you go to do your strength workouts, or are you putting the most into your plyometrics that you're doing, like all those little effort things. I feel like they add up to eventually having a better vertical or being faster or stronger or whatever. Like it's just how much you put into each rep, and how you're doing the movements, like consciously how you're doing the movements. That's why that's why I said like that's why I want to change my workouts, to not follow a strict program and make the workouts predictable every time, but do what I know I'm going to put 100% into every time, because that's what I'm going to have to do if I want to push the boundaries from where they are right now. And maybe if you haven't taken a recovery time of like a couple days, or maybe even a week at most, try to take a recovery or a rest from working out and jumping, or just do some active rest, mobility, stretching. Like look at that and see if you can make improvements there, and then go back to lifting or back to jumping and see if you made any improvements after that point. But yeah, that would be my suggestion, to get out of that plateau. I've also seen a lot of people that I've noticed, or Joshua said, I guess you're right, because there are days I jump lower and it ruins my whole session. It makes me think I can't jump higher in that session. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's so common to have those days, and it's frustrating, and you feel like, oh, I should just be done because whatever I'm doing isn't working. Like if you have one of those days, just take that as motivation for the next workout. Like don't think that whatever you're doing is wrong, or that you need to completely scrap everything and start over. Just take that as, okay, maybe I need to jump a little harder next time, or maybe I need to push myself a little more with how much weight I'm doing, or maybe I need to move, maybe I need to try to move the weight a little faster, maybe I need to run faster, or be more, like put more effort into my plyometrics or whatever it is. Because I feel like it's easy to just kind of, if you've been doing the same program, if you've been sticking to like again, like this is why I don't. This is why I feel like it's also good to just change up the program, or why it could be good to change up the program. Just push your body to whatever you feel like you're gonna put 100% into, because I feel like as soon as a program or as lifting or jumping or whatever gets comfortable, then your body's like almost like, okay, I want to stay here. Don't push me anymore because like this is comfortable. So it's like getting out of that comfort zone so that way you make gains again. That's so that way you jump higher. So like that's why I just want to keep testing my body in new ways so that way I don't ever feel comfortable in one program. Because I feel like it's easy to just get caught up in, if you, especially if you've been doing a program for months, like it's easy to just kind of go into it every day with like the same attitude and like, okay, like I know what I'm doing today. I know how much I can do. Like I know what's comfortable. Like I know like how this workout's going to go. Whereas, if you're constantly trying to push your body in new ways, like you're never going to know how it's going to feel. You just have to you just have to force your body to adapt to whatever it is you're putting it up against. So like that's why I think, like it could be good to take a rest time, like I said, but then also just reevaluating what you're doing and just, taking a little bit of time to just think about it and say like, maybe I should try to jump, to do some max jumps, or just try to push myself to touch like a higher point and just like test myself every maybe every week or every few days if you want, just to kind of push yourself to reach something. That's why I feel like it's good to have like some kind of long-term goal that is attainable, so that way you have like some kind of motivation every day to test yourself and push yourself in ways that maybe you haven't before, because you want to ultimately like reach this point that seems super unrealistic or super far away, because at least you know that you're going towards something. You're not just like blindly going into every workout or every dunk session without um without like a purpose, more or less. And I just chose to kind of set out to do this to reach a 50-inch vertical, because I feel like that's what's gonna push me and motivate me every day. Maybe for you, or um maybe like if you want to set a new goal or something, like maybe you want to do something with dunking, like maybe you want to hit an East Bay, or maybe you want to hit a 360, maybe you maybe you want to do like some kind of weight loss or something like that. That can also have the same kind of motivation, or keep you motivated just to go towards like a goal you might think is unrealistic, but it's going to push you every day to put max effort into whatever it is that you're doing. Because I feel like before, like when I first started the Flight Right program, which is the jump program I did, I feel like when I first started, I didn't really have like that outlook. I was just going into it like, maybe this will work, maybe it won't, whatever, see what happens. But like as soon as I just said, all right, I'm gonna do this for however long it takes until I dunk, that's when I went. That's what forced me to go into every workout like, okay, I'm doing this to dunk. I'm doing this to dunk. Like no matter how hard the workout was, it was like, okay, why are you doing this? Doing this to dunk. Okay, go into it, put max effort into to what I was doing, and then eventually like reach the goal. And then you extend the goal and you start to go towards something else. Which for me after that point, it was making it more consistent. And like now it's just I want to like get to a point I haven't got to yet, which is reaching a 50-inch vertical, which would ultimately help me help me with my dunking and improve my jumping overall. I just feel like it's finding that fine line of setting a goal that seems unrealistic and a goal that's like almost nearly impossible, to the point where it's like, okay, can I actually hit this? And I feel like a lot of that is just like how long you're giving yourself, because and I feel like with I feel like it's hard to like put a limit on like what you can reach and like what you can set out to do in terms of like reaching a goal. So, if you want to reach a goal, then give yourself a realistic amount of time to actually get to it, and then do whatever it takes along the way to get there. Joshua said, "Your progress is amazing, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Still got to put in work though." Was wondering if you could dunk comfortably off the dribble. So I have. I mean, I've gotten a couple off the dribble. comfortably. Like one was in game. I mean, the rim was definitely low, but it's more comfortable off of lobs than off the dribble. But I mean, that would be like something that would come with, you know, reaching this 50-inch vertical point, is getting, you know, along that way would be getting more comfortable off the dribble. So like I'm still gonna be working on like dunking and technique and everything with dunking, but you know, like going towards this 50-inch vertical is gonna have to, like I'm gonna have to be optimal with my jumping no matter what if I want to get a 50-inch running vertical. So that'll transfer over to, you know, dunking off of the dribble comfortably at some point. Sorry about that train. Do you guys hear it? But yeah, that would be like another goal that would just kind of be like intertwined with hitting a 50-inch running vertical, would be to dunk comfortably off the dribble, to hit, you know, to start hitting trick dunks like starting off with like a windmill, or just getting better at dunking along the way of reaching a 50-inch vertical. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, just put leave them in the chat, or if you guys have any suggestions for the next Q&A, that I'm gonna do like the shorter version, the more like topical one, where I just like go into look into something, you know, read studies about it, articles, just try to get some information about it, summarize it down to like a page, and then talk about it with you guys on here. Just let me know in the chat, or just throughout the week if you guys have any suggestions. Hillel said a 50-inch vert would be nice. Yeah, I mean, it definitely would be nice, and it's like it's possible. That's the thing, like that's why I'm not like trying to go after something that like has never been done, even though, you know, who says that's a bad idea too. But I mean, there have been tested verticals like an NFL combine from because like they don't do running verticals in the combine, they only do just like a counter movement vertical, and there's been like guys who've hit like 46 to 48, and like I know, yes, like there's genetics and all that played into, but I just like, you know, I don't want to think I can't hit a 50-inch running vertical and just be like, okay, well, I'm not even going to try to do this. But like, you know, if I think about it and I give myself a good amount of time to actually reach it, then I'm going to do whatever it takes to reach that goal. Hey, what's up, Dunks for Christ? Hillel said, why not aim to 60? Well, I mean, yeah, I would. I mean, after 50, why not aim to 60? But I just feel like 50, like right now, hello, like the reason I wouldn't like I wouldn't want to aim to 60 is because like in my head, 50 is like something that's actually attainable. Like it's something I could actually reach in the amount of time that I'm giving myself, because of where I'm at right now. Because like I mean, getting a 60 would be like I'd have to gain like 20 something inches on my vertical. So, you know, getting to 50 is I could give myself a more realistic time frame of like how long that would take. So once I know, like, you know, I could get to 50, then I would push the boundaries again. It's like never about having one goal. It's just like reaching a goal and then moving that out even more. So I mean, it's not that like 60 can't happen, or like I wouldn't push to that ever, but it's just like I want to reach this goal, and then after that, like set another goal that seems kind of, you know, hard to reach, but I could still, you know, train or whatever to reach it. Don't try, said Joshua, I feel you, but if you jump a lot, you kind of get used to it. Joshua said, "Hi, yeah, I guess because I always train with 2-foot jumps." And Hillel said, "Yeah, exactly." I mean, yeah. So Joshua, like, I mean, just take all that, I guess, into consideration, or, you know, maybe take some time off, whatever you feel like would be best. Like, go off of like what you're feeling right now. Like, if you feel like your body's maybe a little fatigued, maybe that's why you can't give. Maybe that's why, you know, if you feel like your workouts are slacking or whatever, or if they're not, then just maybe reevaluate like the types of movements you're doing or how you're doing them. Mobility, like looking at your mobility, like kind of just evaluate everything you're doing and see how it can be improved or how you can like take it to the next level. If that means like setting a new goal, or if that means like, yeah, I mean, if it means setting a new goal, then if that's gonna motivate you, then do that. Joshua said you and Jay Tooth should collab maybe a dunk contest together. So we actually did do a low rim dunk contest that I was in on his channel. You could check. I mean, it's on his channel, the videos. But yeah, I mean, we have collab together in that way, but never in person. But I would definitely do it if you wanted to. Dunks for Christ said Jay Tooth wouldn't be able to compete with Mike. I mean, he does some crazy stuff on low rims. Like, I mean, he jumped over bikes. Like, he's gotten pretty good with like East Bays on low rims. So, I mean, it could be good. I mean, right now he's doing like I know he's doing like a weight loss thing, and he's been really consistent with it. So, oh yeah, Josh was like, I saw that. I mean, like in person. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would. I mean, he lives in like Washington State, though. I think I've heard him talk about before, and I live in Chicago. So, but I have a cousin that lives in Washington. So if I'm ever up there, I would definitely collab with him. Or if he's ever here, I would collab with him. So that'd be cool. That's a cool thing about like YouTube and stuff is just being able to meet people and do something you guys both love to do. So that I would definitely do it. But Dunks or Christ, how have you been since your injury? Did you say you injured yourself? Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to end this live stream soon. So if you guys have any last minute questions, just leave them in the chat, and I will definitely answer them. But I'm gonna be doing the more topical live stream. I'm gonna be posting the hill workout I did today. Oh, okay. I mean, it's good that at least you're working to get better at it, or you're working to get the injury better. And Joshua said, "I guess you're right. Dunks for Christ. Mike dunked in game, and dunking in game for some reason is harder." Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's harder if you're talking about like off the dribble. I feel like it's easier to dunk in a game because like you have adrenaline. So I mean, I feel like that's why I got that dunk so smoothly in the game too, because I had a lot of adrenaline. So when that's on your side, everything feels easier. Then Hello said being tall helps your dunking. Why not aiming to be tall? Hello, why not aiming to be tall? I mean, I guess I could do that, but I don't know if there's any like possible way to just get taller unless I start taking like growth hormone or something, which I don't want to go to that extent. Or maybe get some kind of stem cells, or I don't know. I haven't looked into that, but I don't know. I rather have the feeling of flying than just kind of. I mean, it's not cheating, but then just to take something or get some kind of treatment for me to grow taller. Dunkster Kai said, "Yeah, Josh Mike is getting up. You see his last dunk progress vid." Thank you. Got to get up even higher though. Keep going up. For sure. But yeah, Josh, let me know how how you end up getting out of the plateau and if you change anything with what you're doing and if it works. Joshua said, "Yeah, dude, I just told Mike his progress is outstanding and it really pumps me up." That's awesome. I love that could be motivating to you guys because I mean I watch videos like that too and it just gets me going to keep doing better. Mike, what shoes do you have? So I think I have two. So I have the Adidas Crazy Light Boost 2016s, and then I have the Nike. I think they're called like crossovers or something. My girlfriend actually got me them, and they're super. Like I love dunking in those because they're a light for a Nike and for a high top shoe in general, and they give ankle support, but not like too much where your ankle feels like immobile. So that's why I like them a lot too. And they have really good traction, so those are really good. Hello said, "LOL, I mean seriously, if you can increase your reach with stretches or something, it's kind of like increasing your vert." Oh, I mean, yeah, if you're talking about like getting taller in that way, then maybe, you know, if I could like stretch a little bit and maybe gain like a half an inch. But I don't know like I don't know how like how much realistically you could grow yourself like just by stretching and stuff. So I mean, I'm sure you can like maybe get like a half an inch or something. Maybe that's possible. I don't know. I never really looked into like. I mean, I'm sure at some point I've like read about it, but like I don't think I've ever like really got into how to grow taller. Yeah, hello, that's some hacks if you could do that. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I know, maybe I'll look into it more though, because now you got me interested, hello. But still, I don't know. Isn't growing tall genetics? I mean, yeah, I feel like the only way I know of it as like how tall you are is based on genetics or getting or taking growth hormones or something when you're still in the growing phase or stuff. I mean, I'm sure through growth hormones like you are forcing your body to grow. So, but then again, there's like probably a lot of arguments out there if that's good or not. Joshua, maybe East Bay soon, Mike. LOL, I think you could do attempts. Yeah, I've definitely been working on East Bay on low rims, and East Bay is a lot of timing. I don't know, like it just seems like East Bay is less about like getting higher. It's more just about the timing and like the timing of getting your hand with the hand movement with the ball under your legs. Like, I feel like that's just a lot more timing. So, I mean, yeah, I would definitely. I've been working on it with a low rim. So, hello. So let's start growth training. That'd be funny. Like if there's actually something to that, hello, like I'll definitely talk about it next time. But I mean, I'm not gonna go to the extent of like taking some growth hormone or something to grow. I mean, if you guys ever see me on here like all of a sudden like 3 inches taller, then call me out because it wasn't just by stretching. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the live stream here. So again, let me know if you guys have any suggestions for the next Q&A, and look for the work I did today on the hill. I'm gonna be posting that later today, and I'll post like a shorter version on my Instagram. That would that one seemed to get a lot of engagement with that short one I put up of the deload workout. So yeah, just look for that. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the Q&A. And Joshua said, "Hello, I just tried not to do crazy stuff like tying ropes on your arms and legs onto a car and stretching you out." Yeah, definitely. I would not recommend trying that. I mean, if there are safe stretches, go for them. But yeah, tying your arms and legs onto a car to stretch you out, I don't know. Sounds dangerous. Might break something or a few things. Yeah, don't do that. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys later.